Imagine now somebody's communicating with your child you don't even know because they downloaded some app and then now they have access to, your child's phone and they're communicating and the child doesn't now have that, awareness to say, no, but who's this person? This is stranger danger. I should be telling my parents.
Yes. So already exposes them to that level of starting to think, question. You don't just go to the internet and just download any app because it's cool. There are certain things, criteria that you need to check first.
Touch on the topic of unemployment in the country. I mean, if you drill into the data and see what kind of skills are there, you'll see that some of them are misaligned with where the world is headed. And from the time they started, they had already failed. Because 3 years they complete that degree. I mean, that particular field is no longer relevant. People are no longer hiring.
Welcome to another episode of ITWeb TV with me, Kensani Nkwasho. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence and digital safety are taught to kids in a fun and engaging way. In a world where technology is evolving at a lightning speed, how do we ensure our kids are safe and digital savvy citizens? In studio today, I'm joined by Zanele Ngwamba and Mpho Mokoena, the authors of 2 children's books that tackles AI and digital safety. Welcome, ladies, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kensan, for having us.
What inspired you to write these books on such complex but important topics such as AI and digital safety?
Yeah, that's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
Because, there's multiple components that led us to writing these books. Maybe I can just take it way back. When I started with my journey in terms of computer science, my background was in computer science. I went to university. I didn't know anything about computers. I've never literally been on a computer. So this was my first time when I got to university. How I got there, I guess maybe that's another question for another day. But I remember when we were trying to program, I didn't know how to press the keyboard. I struggled with the keyboard to get some of the functions on the keyboard. So, I did struggle a bit. Until at the end I did graduate at the end, but it's been a tough journey. So given all of the struggles that I did encounter throughout my entire journey from first year all the way until I did my honors, so I didn't want also kids to experience the same challenges that I went through as well. And when I spoke to my friend here, Zanele, she did also explain that she went through similar challenges. So it was no brainer that we should definitely do something for the kids so that they don't have to go through what we went through. Yeah,
and I think what was also important for us was accessibility. So we thought of avenues as to what can we do that other kids in underserved communities can have access to. So we thought going about it the book way would be the first step while we're trying to bridge the digital divide.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Interesting. And how do you think your books can help shape the next generation's understanding of technology?
So in multiple ways. So for me, with AI now, we are already in the era of AI. So it's the same thing with the concept of electricity. So back then, as you can imagine, people they had a very difficult, very difficult life. I wasn't heard of that. And I'm assuming it was very difficult. Imagine now, we are in this studio, we have lights on. Otherwise it was going to be dark in here. We have to do it outside because we're looking for the light. So now we have that luxury of we can just go switch on and switch off. So it's the same thing now with AI. So before, when you are doing research, you had to go look for multiple magazines and newspapers, cut pictures. You remember how we used to do research back, which used to take a lot of time. So now you can just go at the luxury of your home, go to your phone or your mom's phone, and then you research on the topic that you want and you get more information. If you still don't understand, maybe you don't comprehend what they are saying, you can go on YouTube now, you listen to someone now explaining that concept. I feel like the life now is way easier compared to before.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you plan to extend this series, maybe covering topics like robotics, coding, or digital ethics for kids?
Definitely. So initially what we wanted to do was to just, open up the topic and build awareness around the topics on AI, that, it's not just something that you should come across when you get to varsity, like from as early on as 2, because we say our book is applicable to kids from the age of 2 because of how heavily we invested in illustrations on the book. So, so definitely we are going to release other books further to the ones that we've released here. But with this current offering, the intention was just to build awareness, to introduce the topics, and also make it very child-friendly. Yeah.
Speaking of illustrations, what role do they play in making these topics engaging for kids?
Quite a lot. So imagine Mpho all the way from a village in Limpopo in Amadikana, and then you're telling me about some fancy fridge that when you knock on it, it can actually communicate with you. It can tell you what you can eat, what you can cook for dinner based on what you have in there. I mean, back at home, we don't have those appliances. So in my head, I can't grasp it because I've never seen it. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But now me having the picture while I'm reading this thing that tells me that it is there. So already even my imagination, so it can expand beyond what I've seen in my life. Yeah. So it does help a lot.
Okay. And how do you simplify complex concepts like AI for young readers?
So what we tried to do was to use things which are relatable to the kids, things that they are already exposed to, things that they see on their day-to-day lives, and then also to complement the part where you have a child who's never seen these things. We put a lot of illustrations. So we try to keep it simple, where we use like concepts like ninja. There's Teenage Ninja Mutant titles that kids watch on TV. It's even available on SABC. So we really try to use like day-to-day things that kids are exposed to. The cartoons are also mothers, so we have a good idea. We also like ads, so we have a good idea of what kids are watching on day-to-day basis. Even kids that come from underserved communities, because that's where we come from. Those are the kids that we also engage with. So it took like a long thought process just to make sure that whatever examples that we're making are things that are relatable, like traffic lights that we call robots. We make use of those examples. Kids, when they go to town, they see traffic lights. When they go to school, they see traffic lights. And then in underserved communities, they could have made a trip to town. They've seen a robot before. So that's something that's definitely relatable, and it makes it easy for them to now understand the concept.
So did you work with kids while writing this book to test whether your message has landed?
Yes. We did.
Kids are very honest.
Very honest.
We did. Initially, we did test with each other to make sure that she can understand what I wrote and I can understand.
Do you want to tell her about the first iteration?
Tell us about that.
Draft.
So the first draft, I'll keep it short. The first draft, after I showed my friend here, she's like, "Mpho, you're a nerd. You're a proper nerd." Because she's like, "No, there's no way kids will understand this." So we had to break it down after that. Once we are both happy, then now we took it to our kids. I gave it to my son who's 8. Then after that, I asked him questions. What's AI? He still looked at me like... So I'm like, okay, so which means the message is still not landing. So I need to be able to break it down further so that he can understand. We did the same also with her son as well.
Okay.
So the moment when they were able to start grasping the concept and start being able to explain it, that's when it's like, okay, now the kids can understand what we wrote it.
I think what we also wanted to do with the book was also to introduce topics that will start that conversation with the parents, where we're not breaking it down too much that it loses the education part of it, because there are some concepts that kids will have to get used to, as we venture into the world of AI, into the world of digital safety. So there are some words that we throw in here and there so that it sparks that conversation where someone will go to their parent and say, "What is this, mommy?" And then mommy now or daddy can go on the internet, or auntie can go on the internet, and then they start the conversation, and then they learn. Because ultimately we want the kids to learn.
Yeah.
And
how do you think AI will impact a kid's life in the future? Because it's everywhere now. So,
yeah. I think maybe going back to that example that I gave in terms of electricity, I think it will make their lives more easier and more efficient compared to us. I think also maybe even in terms of grasping different concepts, and it will make it more easier for them compared to us, and also even those kids that are coming from underserved communities. They will be able to, I guess, have the exposure of the information, although it might not necessarily exist at home. Yeah.
Okay, and what are some real life risks children face online today that parents might not understand?
So it's definitely a lot. I mean, our kids, in as much as we say from this age they shouldn't be exposed to technology, they are, you know. What we're trying to do as parents is to delay the process, but I mean, ultimately they'll have to engage. I mean, as early as grade 4, kids are already doing robotics and coding. And my son is doing robotics and coding. He can extend a for loop in a child-friendly way. So, I mean, they're on YouTube every day. There are all sorts of videos. So as parents, I mean, there's a lot of risk. Like they can see videos that they're not supposed to see, that are not age appropriate. You know, so we need to have that awareness. If, I mean, you have smart TVs in our homes. Are we putting the right settings so that on the videos that they're being exposed to are videos that are appropriate to their age? Or it's just, you know, like general, and then now they get exposed to videos that they're not supposed to see. So, I mean, there is spend even to the apps that they use for games. There's a lot of issues around the apps. Some of them have viruses. If a child doesn't know that, I mean, there's a virus here, or they've installed something on their phone that has exposed them to a virus. I mean, so many things can go wrong because on those devices, they have their images, they have their WhatsApp, they have their contacts. Imagine now somebody's communicating with your child you don't even know because they downloaded some app and then now they have access to, you know, your child's phone and they're communicating, and the child doesn't now have that, you know, awareness to say, no, but who's this person? This is stranger danger. I should be telling my parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And coming back to the books, what was the most challenging part of writing the books?
I think, for us, it was trying to get the message across. Because like I said, when you wrote the books, we wanted to build awareness. Like in terms of AI, we wanted to make kids aware that AI has been there, you know. It's not a new concept. It's not something that just started with ChatGPT, because now ChatGPT is like, it brought AI. AI has been there. I mean, they're having conversations on AI in 1950, was it 1956?
Yeah.
They're talking about the first chatbot. I mean, we've been using chatbots. So, I mean, AI has been embedded in the technologies we've been using. So for us, we wanted to just like make it, build that awareness that they're not engaging with something new. It's always been there. It's just that now there's something more nuanced like ChatGPT that gives a lot of, you know, information, a lot of interaction. It's autonomous. It can think. It can also learn from us. So, I mean, for AI, we just wanted to make sure that they are aware that, you know, this thing has been there. It's nothing new. They've engaged with it. So, because, I mean, sometimes when you think it's something new, people tend to fear it, you know?
Yeah.
So now when they say, oh, by the way, so AI is actually like something that we've been engaging in. It's been there, that it becomes, oh, okay, no, I mean, it's not that bad. We just now need to add on to what we already know. And then digital safety, it was also just to build that awareness so that kids are able to communicate with their parents if there is something amiss. First, you need to see that, okay, there's something wrong with my device, or there's something that's happening here. There's a person that I'm talking to that I don't know. And to basically build that awareness that they must communicate with their grown-ups. Because at certain ages, they don't have the right capacity to make the right decision. So they need a grown-up to help them to say, okay, no, let's block this person, let's take this action. So for us, we really wanted those two messages to land. And I think we did a grand job in making sure that it lands. Yeah.
Maybe just to add, one of the challenges, I mean, also given that these topics, like you said, they are very complex. So now trying to break it down in a kids-friendly way, and also there's too much. I mean, we wanted to put, I think the first book, I mean, we have made more than 200 pages. Like there's just too much to cover. So us now trying to narrow it down to something that we can say, okay, will be the first version of the books, and then we can start illustrating on that and be like multiple number of series. Because I mean, it was just too much that we wanted to put it, but it was too much for one book as well. So for kids to grasp, because it was just too much all at once. Yeah.
And what are some of the misconceptions about AI that you wanted to correct for young readers?
The first one that we actually even have in the book, that AI is going to take over the world. I mean, that's the biggest one. I mean, I think even most adults, it's not necessarily just the kids.
Yeah.
Even most adults, I guess we need to, shift our mindset in terms of that. I mean, these books actually can even add a great value even to parents. But the reason why we wanted to do that, I mean, you can be a partner with AI, not necessarily that is going to take over you. If you change your mind, you condition your mind in a certain way compared to the normal way you're doing things. For example, if now it used to take you 5 hours to prepare for these interviews, because now you have to sit down and think about, oh, what can I ask them? Okay, maybe the whole thing takes you about 5 hours. But now you can go and put this thing on ChatGPT, say, okay, I have Mpho and Zanele tomorrow on my podcast. This is the topic that I'm going to be
The recent response.
them, and what kind of questions can I ask them? So it can be a starter. So now it gives you, say, maybe give me a list of 15 questions. And then you can look at those 15 questions. You can say, okay, maybe the 5 out of the 15 are not, I don't feel then, maybe I'm going to go with the 10. And then you can also give him other questions like, okay, maybe let's amend, I want us more to focus more on AI, for example. Yeah, it looks like maybe you're more skewed on the digital safety part. And then now it all amended for you. That process can literally take you now, even literally 10 minutes compared to the 5 hours that used to take you before. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people just need to remember that AI was built by people for people. So, I mean, the misconception that it's going to take over the world, I think we should try to change it. We need to have a mind shift to say, okay, where I am, how can I use AI to make my life better, to make it, to augment, to automate, to make things simpler, to make them quicker. Because now it's a game of speed, If you can deliver quicker without compromising the quality, help using AI, you're already winning.
Yeah, and you can be part of the people that are building AI, right? I mean, it's not just us using AI, but it's also us being people that are also building the whole AI. I mean, we can be the next people that are going to build, I don't know, maybe the fastest car ever in the whole world using AI. You can be part of those people. It's just how now you shift your mindset. Yeah.
That's interesting. And what advice would you give parents and caregivers who want to support their kids learning about AI and digital safety?
So it's interesting that you asked that question, because on the book we have a section on both books. We call it Parents Corner. So we basically try to give parents pointers like digital safety, for instance. When you give a child a device, like linking your device to your child's device so that you see what's happening. I mean, that's the kind of information we share. On the AI for Kids one, we have one where we we encourage critical thinking, because AI, honestly, the foundation of it is just to think critically, So we're covering a whole topic on critical thinking, how parents can encourage critical thinking in kids. But I mean, over and above that, there's a plethora of information now, in this age that we live in. And data, I mean, in the context of South Africa, it's quite, it's still pricey, but we have it, So there's a lot of resources they can reach out to, like ITWeb, for instance, There's a lot of information that you make available.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories that you're covering in South Africa around AI and what the developments are. So parents need to not shy away from the technology that's coming. We need to be in the forefront. We need to lead from the front, and then we can guide our kids better in terms of how to consume technology.
And then what role do you think kids can play in promoting digital safety among their peers?
I'll give you this example. So now, ever since my son has read these books, you can't just touch his tablet.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, you're going to be installing viruses on my...
Oh, I love him.
You need to go read the book first. Did you check? Do you know how to identify a bad app?
Ooh.
You don't know? No. So now you can't touch. So already exposes them to that level of starting to think, to question. You don't just go to the internet and just download any app because it's cool. There are certain things, criteria that you need to check first. Need to be a cool app, bad app. Yeah.
Wow. I like these kids. And how do you see AI being used to promote digital literacy?
So there's a couple already. So currently now, I mean, as Zanele did touch on it. So there are already a couple of apps that parents can install on their phones to monitor their kids' devices. So to make sure that they're safe. So for example, it will tell you like, okay, it will be asking you a couple of questions. How old is your child and what you want them to watch? So I guess maybe initially you need to invest that time as a parent to set all of those parameters in place so that now the app, next time when your child is interacting on the phone, they will be able to say, okay, no, is this a good app or a bad app? Based on the parameters that you also did set up as a parent. I know Google already have one, Family Link. So there's a couple of apps that already exist that are using AI because they went from the data to say, if you're saying your child is within this age range, so it means this is the content that is appropriate for them. Yeah. So it's using AI now to identify what's safe and what's not safe.
As we wrap up, what do you hope kids will take away from your books?
So we hope it'll inspire them. It'll get them thinking. Because, I mean, what you're covering here is basically the careers of the future, you know. AI, I mean, it's quite topical. It's not even topical. It's embedded in everything now. Like, you cannot have a conversation about technology without talking about AI. You know, so we're hoping like from an early age, they'll start thinking about, because I mean, now we're talking about AI, but 10 years from now, we could be talking about something else, because now it feels like AI will be the only thing, but there could be a new thing that replaces AI. So we just want them to have that open mind, to be critical thinkers, to always be learning, to be like learners, continuous learners, know what's happening out there, how the world is changing, so that they can plug in themselves, make sure that they learn the relevant things in accordance to where the world is moving. Because now, I mean, if we touch on the topic of unemployment in the country, I mean, if we drill into the data and see what kind of skills are there, you know, you'll see that some of them are misaligned with where the world is headed. And from the time that they started, they had already failed, you know, because 3 years they complete that degree. I mean, that particular field is no longer relevant. People are no longer hiring. So we need to start this thing early so that kids know that, you know, they don't follow like a rigid process where they're learning 1, 2, 3, 4. They're always out in the internet. They're challenging their teachers in class and say, why are we not learning about this? They're challenging the department. The teachers are challenging the department to say, I mean, this is our program. Why are we not incorporating things around this and this and this? So that by the time they get to, you know, varsity or they finish varsity, they're doing things which are relevant. Things where, I mean, they won't even be employed just here.
Can actually use computers.
You can actually use computers and not struggle. And I mean, they can go out there. I mean, you're not limited. You see, like the thing is, if you're well aligned in terms of what you learn, right? You're not limited to careers in Africa. You can go like, I mean, the world becomes your oyster. You can go anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thinking we need to really be encouraging in our kids, not to think, oh, now AI, and then they focus on AI. 10 years, they lift up their heads. AI is no longer relevant. You just need to be out there and know, and be in the know of what's happening, how the world is changing, what's up and coming. And we're hoping that these books have kind of achieved that.
Wow.
No, I like what you say in terms of the future. We might not actually have AI. Yeah, no, I like that, because I mean, we all thinking about the now, you know, thinking about future. So which means we need to be dealing more in terms of the mind, right? Not necessarily say you need to learn this tool and how to use these tools. Because things change.
Things change.
The world rapidly. Yes. So we need to be sharpening the mind in terms of saying, whatever you're bringing in, the mind can say, okay, I'm going to shift from, I normally stack these books like this, but you know, maybe I can put them like this. It's wrong, no? Like this, in bed, on top of each other.
Yeah. Oh, wow, ladies. And where can these books be found?
Okay, so the book is currently available at a number of retailers. You can find it at Macro Marketplace.
Okay.
It's also available at Exclusive Books. We're having our official book launch on the 27th of September this year. So if you're available, please do come and join us, and you'll be able to grab a copy there.
Yeah, so it's at Mall of Africa, Exclusive Books.
Okay.
Find us there, the 27th.
And the prices, are they reasonable?
No, it is. We wanted to make it available. So, I mean, the price was important. The quality was important, seeing that it's a kid's book. Unfortunately, we couldn't compromise on the cover. We use a hardcover, but it is quite affordable.
Okay.
We sell the combo for 300 and individually it goes for 169.
Okay.
Yeah. But there will obviously be different prices if you're buying from different stores.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's other factors that need to be factored in. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. For this and more, please subscribe to ITWeb TV.